was in the house.
Yo,
Jay
yo.
Hezza.
Sorry for being a little bit late, boys.
We know what you're up to, Hollingshead, getting massaged out.
Getting
Yeah.
massaged now, bro.
It wasn't even a therapeutic one, was it, James?
No, it was, do you know, it's actually really nice.
Nice.
Was it not a nasty massage? Dig out.
Nah, it was good. It
Flush
was a very much needed one. You guys good?
Yeah, man.
Is it 4 weeks out, James? Yeah.
Fucking yeah, less now. Fucking 3, so
Wow.
4 on Friday it was.
Oh, the show's on Friday because I just saw that the Arnold weekends but it starts early in the week, doesn't it? Yeah.
I think it's Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, so it's a 2 day show, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought it was one. Do you prefer 1 or 2, James?
I prefer 1, but you know all these shows are fucking 2 now. These big ones.
Yeah.
What's that?
What's on the menu, James? I saw on the egg whites.
This is just white fish and potatoes with loads of salt because I love salt.
Smelly house.
I normally have sauerkraut, but I've run out. Bit pissed actually.
Oh no.
Fucking well upset.
What about the kimchi? Is it chimney?
Chimney, whatever they say.
Kimchi. I can't pronounce it.
I
tried it.
I like your t-shirt.
Yeah, I'll have to order the new one, James, to show a bit of support.
Bit of repping.
Sorry, it's unironed. I live alone. I haven't got a.
Sorry, it's unironed. I don't think anyone cares about that. Is this, you know, this light in the background? That light in the background ain't blinding you. I like having the light behind as well.
That's good, man.
It's like fake
we were
sun.
just talking about this, James. About I was going to get like a half decent podcast setup.
Yeah.
Obviously not go crazy, but because I've got all of these like mics and stuff, and I just don't even use them.
That's a good one. Do that, and then the light I've got in the background's an Elgato key light. You can get like a non-branded one. I've got one in front of me as well. That'd be good.
James knows.
James, no.
And then camera-wise, honestly, depends how good you want it, but this is pretty good. This is just an Elgato face cam.
I've actually got a pretty decent Sony camera that I just sits in the box and get used. Unfortunately,
I have a decent Sony camera, but it sits in the box.
It's just iPhone, isn't it? When you're in the gym, you just take a video of it. I'm not getting a camera out and all that stuff.
So what are you on a phone right now, you boys?
Yeah, I'm just on my Mac.
So I have the WhatsApp on my I'm connected to my PC, so I sit here.
Yeah, I've got an iMac.
James, you're a PC dude, aren't you still? Because of the gaming and stuff.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
do you like my Transformers mouse pad? Generation 1 Transformers.
I saw that you posted about that and I was envious.
Yeah. Got some botanicals everywhere. I'm on a spending spree on fake plants.
Because it's 4 weeks out, James. Everything you're doing it. All I used to buy was shoes because you don't have to try them on.
Yeah, I've done.
You know your shoes fit, so
there's no calories in plants if you don't eat them. So you can grow them, and that's like
exactly then.
I like your little you've got like your little paraphernalia collections. So you've got little collectibles up on there.
Yeah, so I'm going to tell you for them because if anyone wants to know. So up here. Wait, I really wish I could take this fucking camera over all the way there because you got in there. It's all Resident Evil collections in there. Yeah, and then obviously this is all Resident Evil fucking here as well. All these.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got loads of collections in there, and then I've got all the consoles. I've got the Xbox, Switch, PS3, PS2, GameCube, PS5, and then PC. GameCube, I love it, bruv.
Yeah. Did you ever have a? I always wanted one of these when I was a kid, but I couldn't afford it. My dad was like, "Don't be stupid." Can you remember the Neo Geo?
I never had one
where the games were like 500 quid each or something. It's crazy. And you can get them like an emulator now for like 20 quid.
I know, but a lot of people still want the thing is, people like me still want the original hardware because we're suckers.
Yeah.
Guys, why don't I've got a couple of you know what we could do for the podcast while we're on? I've been gifted a couple of I got four of these. They were originally for the anniversary for the gym to give away. Yeah. So we could do a giveaway as a podcast on one of each if you want. So if you think of an idea before the end of the episode that we're doing right this minute, we can do one Better Bodies one to a listener and one last one worth 250 each. So subscribe. You have to subscribe, otherwise you can't win this, basically.
Yeah.
We'll give it. You have to be not a new subscriber. We'll have to think of something. That makes it
For
fair.
anyone who subscribed or does subscribe, and then you can think of like something they can write in the chat below, and we'll do a giveaway of one of each to celebrate. Yeah.
Yeah, what we'll do is if you comment and put your name below, we'll put it into a random name generator, and we'll pick out two names.
We'll spin the wheel. We'll get an actual wheel behind Dan and spin it.
Yeah.
So Bruce's price is right.
Alex, can you make wheels?
Within like 20 minutes.
Give me 20 minutes, yeah, arts and craft.
She's on
I don't know if you like stuff like this.
Oh, James, I love all collectible stuff.
Yeah, that's
I'll have to send you this guy. I don't know if you've seen this guy on TikTok. He's got this like collector's room. He's got like nearly 500 grams worth of stuff.
It gets real. Yeah, it gets pretty fucking addictive. But this is again another prep purchase. It's
yours are all gaming ones, aren't they, Jim? Do you not like a bit of Terminator stuff?
Well, they do Terminator, so these are the McFarlane line ones. He does the Terminator ones, and NECA do that as well. But no, I'm not really. I know you're a Terminator guy.
Yeah, I've kind of got rid of all my stuff, to be fair. I sold my Predator heads and stuff, and I've got a few little bits left. I was going to send you something as a gift, James, just if you like.
Yeah, no, I do like Terminator, but I have to say, for some reason, I'm more of a game guy. But Terminator 2 is one of my favorite films of all time. Absolutely love Terminator 2. I think it's probably one of the best stories ever told on cinema. And a lot of people
which one's 2, James? Is that where Sarah Connor's in the
and then when Arnold's actually good, because that's the whole flip in it. Like if you watch Terminator 1, you would have never seen that fucking coming in Terminator 2 at the time, and you would have been blown away when he's walking towards her in the jail cell thing, and the music goes all fucking. And you're like, oh shit, and then she's freaking out and falling on the floor and fucking hell, and then he's like, come with me if you want to live. You're like, what?
So that's the tune, isn't it?
Yeah, you're never gonna get cinema like that again.
No,
it's so underrated and underappreciated because people just have seen all the ones that followed, like Terminator 3 and whatever, and all the shit ones.
They were pants.
The last one was really shit. I can't remember. It's Terminator Salvation or something like that. No,
Salvation.
I haven't seen the one after that.
Oh, Salvation was, do you know what? I'll give Salvation credit because it at least tried to go from a different timeline and do something different and didn't rely on Arnold. Whereas the fucking Dark Fate, Genesis, all those other ones, they kept trying to do the same thing again and again. And it was just like, fucking hell, man, how many times can you get this shit? So, but yeah.
Was Salvation the one where they kind of dip them into the hot lava?
No.
Salvation's the one that's set in the future with Christian Bale and Sam, the guy from Avatar. It's actually quite a decent plot, I thought.
I think I'm thinking of the one before.
Terminator 2 at the end is when
he goes dips.
And it's fun.
Yeah, he does.
So is that number 2 then, yeah? Where you get
with the T1000, Robert Patrick, he's the liquid metal one, and it's just like fucking hell. So good.
Yeah, that is the best one, and that's why I remember when he gets lured into the lava.
That makes that. I tell you, like growing up and then like not having the dad around, you kind of look like you thought Terminator was your dad, and then when you see him like do that, you're like, it hits differently, man. It's really good.
The old movies used to promote a bit of emotion. Can you remember? Has anybody seen The Champ? I'm a bit older than you guys.
Obviously, I have. When's that?
Oh man, do not watch The Champ 4 weeks out, James. You will have a nervous breakdown. I'll send you. It's basically a boxing movie, and I won't tell you what happens at the end. It's very sad at the end.
So sadder than The Wrestler.
Yeah,
The Wrestler was actually not a bad film, to be fair.
That was a good film.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen The Champ, Dan?
No, I don't think I have.
Oh yeah, those were the times when I used to watch TV all the time on movies like The Champ, bit of Steven Seagal, Out for Justice. You must have seen Out for Justice, surely.
Yeah, I remember.
I'm a bit older than you guys, so.
No, but I had all my like dad's VHSs for like Predator, True Lies, all those kind of films.
Reader's Wives. You get the old Reader's Wives on VHS. I just some blood and guts.
Just blood and guts.
It was in all the VHS, blood and guts non-stop, honestly. So how was things, Mr. Hollingshead? I
think pretty good.
Same question 100 times over, but we've got to ask.
Regarding like preparation, that's really good. Just kind of, I won't lie, I've been locking myself in my room and preventing myself from talking to too many people and getting too much influence and just focusing on the job at hand.
Yeah, people giving the advice from every angle, I guess, as well.
Mm.
Yeah, people only mean well, don't they? But yeah, just mangles your head a little bit.
For sure. And honestly, stepping away from the gym has been the best thing for me. I'll be real. So,
do you think it was zapping a little bit of your energy, James?
A lot of it. Not for the wrong reasons, as a human for the right reasons, but as a bodybuilder, and if I'm selfish, if I really think about what's going to help me in my career, what I was doing was probably taken away from it, to be honest. Because I care about service. I care about
you're very available, aren't you? So
yeah,
that's
too available to be fair for someone that's currently trying to fucking do well as a professional bodybuilder. So I'm glad we tried. I'm glad I did that endeavor and put somewhere on the map that people can go train and enjoy it, and it'll always be that. But I'm also happy with the decisions and where I'm at now. So
everything happens for a reason, man. I know it sounds cheesy, but everything happens for a reason, as I say. That was one of the questions. I'm not going to ask you the other questions about the people asking about why it happened and all that kind of stuff. I know you don't probably want to discuss that, but people are asking, are you going to open another gym? I'm sure it's not something you're thinking about.
I'm not even thinking about it right now, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got so many good things going on that I'm just focus on those for now, Like the fact I even get to do an Arnold Classic, like that's a lot of people's dream, man. And like if they ever even said they could do that, what else could you even think about?
Yeah, like 12. Is there 12 guys in the lineup?
I think so, yeah. It's only and it's invite only. So the fact that you even get the invite is such a, it's a very rewarding feeling because you're like, wow, of everybody that's applied or could be there, I'm there. And so really, the less things you've got to think about in the process of leading up to it, the better, because then at least you get to really enjoy it. That's what I'm just really trying to aim to do this time, is just actually really enjoying. We say all the time, get ready for a show. Oh, I want to be more present, want to be more present. But a lot of the time we get distracted. This time, generally speaking, I think I'm doing my best at being as present as I can, and it's certainly more enjoyable when it is enjoyable. Obviously, with bodybuilding, and you guys know this, that it does have moments where you're just like, fuck this. But the moments that are like, this is great, this is what I'm about, are really excelling. They're some of the best. Like training with Little Jordan. I keep calling him Little Jordan. And the only reason I do that is because everyone knows Jordan Peters, and then there's Little Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan hates it because he's like, I'm not fucking little, but you know what I mean.
We'll have to give him a new nickname then.
I do. I need to give him something new. But he's great for
J-Bomb.
He calls himself Juicy, but I've just I don't know.
That's too gay.
It's like a gigolo. I don't know about that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Some fucking Portuguese gigolo. Yeah, so that's been really good. We've been training at a gym that's not far from mine, owned by a gentleman called Adrian, called Darkside, which is actually a great gym. All old school kit, loads of gems in there. Pretty beat up, I like it. So it's kind of like going back to your roots with how you first start training in like a gym that's put together by people that kind of just love bodybuilding and pick up the old gems, really. So
it's got like the low ceilings, like boxed in feel, hasn't it? Like,
yeah, that's one thing I do miss about the little Max Muscle Gym, was the kind of, but it's not good if you're a busy gym. It just gets too hot in there. It just gets horrible. So
as a selfish bodybuilder, it makes you feel like you're like in your own world. But like you say, from a business standpoint, when you're in a gym like the size of yours or whatever, it doesn't really make sense. But you have like your pocket of that in the corner, in the hardcore corner. Which is
I did a bit of what did I do last in there? I did a bit of back in there on, I think it was like Wednesday, Thursday. I thought, I'll do as many exercises as I can.
And within this space,
in the hardcore corner. I did actually really enjoy. I even did like rear delt raises and stuff, because you generally on the pec deck and stuff. I did all the bent over rear delts and stuff. Yeah, I loved it. To be fair.
It's good to have that option, man.
It's like having that little bit of like where actually your resources are limited. That's sometimes the best.
Yeah, that's what I was basically going with it. Yeah, and I still had a really good workout. To be fair.
Yeah.
I felt like a bit of a dick the other night, because it's the one place where we have a sign. It's that sign there. It says no tripods. Like number one, because it's not a very big area, so the tripod kind of gets in the way. And number two, it's just one area where if you want to go in there, you can film in there. It's fine. It's camera or iPhone, but you're not allowed to put a tripod up. And one of the students had a tripod. I was like, excuse me, like there's a kind of, I always see a guideline. I don't see rules. But there's no tripods in here. Like, you got a little bit offended, unfortunately. That's why there's a huge gym space you can do any filming you like. There's 2 floors there. Like it's just that little. How big would you say it is? The hardcore corner, square foot wise.
I'm not very good with square feet.
Nothing, is it? Jesus,
it's not very big, but it's big enough for you. But you know what you're also doing, though, what people don't understand, is you're preserving a moment in time.
Yeah, pretty
And
much.
that's why that's actually part of the reason why no tripods in there, because it's like you're preserving that 90s feel when there was none of that. So the whole point is you go in that corner and it's like you take a step back into those days before this was all happening, and it's the one place you have that piece to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a concept. It's a concept. It's a good concept.
It's not personal.
Oh, I don't like that word, Dan, concept. I prefer nostalgia.
A nostalgic concept?
That's how it concept.
That sounds
Just
better.
not allowed, just not concept. Okay.
I've got to say,
He's not allowed to use a tripod, is he? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I can see how much you like in that potato. Did you save it for last, James? Is that the
You eat the fish first and then you smash the potatoes after.
I was just going to say the old CNP rule. You always had to eat. Sorry, it used to be banana, potato, and turkey.
Yeah.
And you had to eat the banana first because if you didn't, the fruit would ferment on the top of the other food.
Yeah.
Then you ate the protein. Then you ate the carbohydrates. So I don't know if there's any truth to that, but that's what we were always told about.
Yeah, it was the pineapple. That if you eat the pineapple
Yeah.
first, and digestion. Yeah.
Yeah, the enzymes in the pineapple help break down the protein that you eat afterwards.
Yeah, I don't know whether it's true, but I still do it.
It is actually. What's this? Is bromelain? I can't remember.
Bromelain, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it is bromelain. Yeah, and it supposedly helps with protein breakdown. So obviously, if you eat it after, in your head, you're like, well, I'm putting pineapple on top of the protein that I'm trying to digest. So I should put the protein on top of the pineapple.
It's kind of like a pudding, though. Depends how you go. I don't know. Have you ever been to one of those Brazilian places and they cut all the meat off, and then the last one is like that hot pineapple with like the cinnamon? Oh,
is that nice? Yeah,
that's serious. That
cinnamon does make a lot of things good.
That's good.
Cinnamon does make a lot of things taste pretty good. I use a lot of cinnamon on my, if I'm having like a whey protein that isn't too strong, that is like more of a base flavor, like a banana or vanilla or something that's not like chocolate. Cinnamon's a great addition to that.
Yeah, that's good for you.
It is. Helps with cinnamon's good for
inflammation.
It's good for insulin sensitivity, supposedly.
Yeah, especially if you use like the Ceylon cinnamon.
Yeah.
So
I had some in my ESN rice pudding, James, and that isn't a plug for you, but I heard the podcast
so good
where you talked with Stefan and Fuad, because I had some cream of rice there because I can't eat oats anymore. I'll just destroy my stomach now.
Yep.
Because I have started up the food a little bit and the training's getting a little bit better, so we're starting to get a bit more structured and stuff. But cream of rice, I mean, I know you've got like sweeteners and stuff in there, but I cannot digest that shit, and it rockets my blood sugar through the roof.
And
then
you get hypos
the ESN
and shit
stuff.
as well. Even if you're not a diabetic, you still get hypos and shit for that.
But that was a good explanation from Stefan about me.
Yeah.
He said it was all like pre-cooked and all that stuff, and so that's why it's so expensive as well, I guess.
It's such a beautiful product, though, I have to say. Like the fact it's mixability and it's like taste and it's texture. Just there's nothing. Like I said, he said it quite rightly, and this again, it's not even plugging it because I used it before I was with ESN because I tried it because people were saying it was good, and it is definitely of its own standard. There isn't anything like it, and obviously it's an expensive process to make. It's not one you can just go and do. Because he was highlighting the fact that it's all to do with like a process done for racehorses, and they're to help them with their consuming their carbohydrates and whatnot. So basically, it's like horse food. So if you want to get big like a fucking horse,
say no more.
Rice pudding. But yeah, I love that shit. And I got the maize one as well, and that's pretty good. Obviously, I don't think it's quite as nice because maize doesn't taste as nice as rice, but still pretty decent.
Yeah, the rice stuff reminds me a little bit like grits, but again, grits is always crazy expensive and hard to get as well in the UK.
Yeah.
So
yeah, when you pay for it, you have to pay so much. It's like the proper cream of rice, the orange box one. You go on Amazon and you buy it like that. They charge £6.50 upwards of one pack of like however many 100 grams. So, but there's a difference even with that. Like that cream of rice for me is so much nicer than all these brands.
Yeah.
Did anyone else used to eat the baby rice?
Yeah, but it's like 100 grams for like £4, £3.
Yeah, man, this shit adds up, especially if you eat the amount of you're eating in the off-season, Jim. It gets a bit crazy, the grocery bill.
Yeah, well, you're going to do, let's be honest, any of us are going to have probably 150 to 200 grams around training. So if you think the baby rice is, like, I swear it's about £3 per 100 grams, you're doing £6 for a meal pretty much.
On
like,
rice.
On not even anything other than the fucking carb.
Yeah.
Whereas you can have a bowl of, I don't know, fucking, although oats do kind of struggle with oats.
I was just going to say.
Yeah, don't need it all day.
You could have had that fucking 3 kilos of oats that you had.
3 kilos of oats, mate. That's how you get big.
I was working that out, so What did you have to have? 300 grams of
I'd have
carbs.
300 grams of carbs. So you think dry weight, and then think about how much water you've had to add to that fucking thing.
So you got to have 500 grams of carbs. Yes,
500
500
grams of
grams of
rice.
oats.
Oats,
500
yeah.
grams of oats. Fuck, that's like
So then how much water have you got to mix of that? Same again,
yeah.
more?
Yeah, it's got to
So
weigh a
you probably need
kilo.
like a kilo of food.
Dude, I was sitting in the bed and it was like someone put a brick on my lap. It was this Tupperware full up.
Okay,
Shit.
yeah.
And it weren't even full up in a nice way where it was like watery. It was full up like a compact brick.
Like a brick.
Yeah.
The
You could have built a mud hut out of it. It was fucking terrible. Yeah, awful.
Hell,
But yeah, I should have thought that through, but I just didn't. So don't make that mistake. Isn't it funny how there's so many different foods, and depending on what your net requirement is, you have to make a decision. Like it's a little bit harder than just okay, just eat that because you can't fit it in. So yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
it was a
remember the
great
first three times I worked with FIBO, and like I found Germany really hard to get decent food.
Yeah,
So I just packed a suitcase full of rice cakes,
easy done that.
baby rice, and fucking isolate and tuna fish. That was it.
Yeah.
You say, I can't be asked when you get there, you try to go around supermarkets and stuff. And
Oh, I
in
can't
the
read
States,
nothing.
it's easy as shit, isn't it? You just get delivered now. With Germany's like, I mean, I'm talking a long time ago as well. I was there, but
I think yeah,
it
Europe
was just
back
an
then was
absolute nightmare. Back in the 70s. No, it wasn't that
yeah,
long ago. It was like
in the 70s.
2000.
The Beatles were still making tracks.
Yeah.
I remember the hardest place to eat was Belgium.
I've never been to Belgium.
Yeah, it was just basically think like pastry.
Just pastries everywhere. So that's the only carbs you can get.
Yeah, it's like it was wild.
What were
Great
you
if
doing
you're
in
not
Belgium,
dying.
Dan?
Huh?
What were you doing in Belgium?
My ex was
Belgish.
was Flemish, yeah.
Belgish.
Belgish.
Yeah, what are you Belgian then? Wait, Belgian, obviously, and fucking
Well,
that didn't make sense. It just came out there. Sorry, when you said Belgish.
Belgish. Well, there's a whole thing going on. So she was Flemish because they don't like each other. It's like there's a divide. So
Okay.
Oh, I've never heard of that one. Believe that one since you're married now.
Yeah, let's not get political about Belgium and phlegm.
it's right. She's gone now. She doesn't exist. So,
Okay.
yeah, fuck it.
Exited from memory.
How's Yannicka doing through all of this, James? Obviously prepped, leaving the gym, being pregnant.
She's all right, bro. I don't really know. I locked myself in here, mate.
I don't know where she's at. I haven't seen her for 3 weeks.
You do the baby thing.
I'm honestly protecting myself. I'm not gonna lie. I'm literally like I go to the gym, I get home. I obviously make sure she has everything she needs and whatnot, but I'm kind of like my head's a bit fucking knackered right now, so I am gonna go and put myself in that room. You have the rest of the house to yourself. It's all yours, and just enjoy yourself because she sleeps a lot in a minute. So to be fair, most of the time she's just snoring because I think it's making a baby. She's obviously just energy. She's eating or sleeping. Because even
sorry,
dude, we're trying to watch a program together, and the minute I turn it on, she's fucking asleep. So I'm like, what's the fucking point?
Yeah, we're gonna let her off since she's pregnant.
I think that but I think they do fucking use it as an excuse, don't they? They're very much like,
oh my god, I hope she didn't watch this.
yeah,
watch this.
But you were gonna say that, weren't you? Because you've been through it. Like, there's definitely like, oh, I'm pregnant. Like, there's definitely something going on there. Because
are you gonna let Yannick get fat?
Already looking.
No, because they use because they say like the fatter you get during your pregnancy, you do pass on those fat cells to the child. So if you like stay,
mate, she's got a cupboard full of cakes. I'm fucking in trouble,
oh,
mate.
Man,
the problem is as well because she's like gluten intolerant. All the shit she eats is like just shit processed shit. Like it's got a million ingredients in it, and they only make. If you notice, like gluten-free section, you go to it, it's all just cakes. Like, but there is no excuse because like we're bodybuilders, yeah, and all the food we eat is gluten-free. Like you could just do rice and a good lean meat and some vegetables, but gluten-free people just don't do that. They're like,
just
it's so hard to eat. It's so hard to eat. I'm gonna go to the yellow gluten-free aisle and then pick up fucking fake Cocoa Pops and fucking
6 times the price.
6 times the price. Like a loaf of bread for a fucking gluten-free person's like fucking.
Well, mate, have you ever eaten it?
Shit.
Fucking horrendous.
It's terrible because it's like there's no yeast and no fucking
not food.
No. So
yeah, but I think that is true, you know. I think that is true that if you get really fat during your pregnancy, you pass on some of the fat cells on your child or something.
Yeah,
like
but No
We'll
one
send
wants a
Yannick a
little
link to this podcast.
emaciated space baby. You know, the ones that come out like ET, and you make like, oh, isn't he cute?
No, but if you want your child to be able to get shredded as like, let's say,
It's
Michael
going to be
Lockett,
Mr. Olympia. Yeah, Michael Lockett shreds.
he's literally got no like hardly any fat cells on his body, has he? So
He's got none on his face, has he? He's like
James is going to get Yannick on keto now. He's gonna
I'll put some clen in her coffee.
The first Ozempic baby.
There's probably a lot of them, isn't there, nowadays?
Oh yeah, to be fair, there's probably a few.
Do you know how many people that you just look at and you're like, yeah, Ozempic. You just look at their face and they're so different than they used to be, and you're like, yeah, like Lily Allen and people like that. I'm just like, yeah, he was always like pretty chubby, and then all of a sudden they're not, like Kelly Osbourne and people like that, and you're like, and I know you don't work out. So
yeah, I can get it on prescription for free with me being diabetic if I want.
Can you actually get it?
Yeah, they'll pay for the first 2 years. I think it is the new one. What everybody's using is
Semaglutide?
it's not Ozempic. It's semaglutide's the name for Ozempic, isn't it? Oh, I'll think of it before the end. But there's a better GLP one than Ozempic now.
Is that because it's like a longer acting or
Just a little bit less side effects and stuff? I think.
But the idea is basically that you don't want to eat, so then you don't eat, and then.
I thought it stops hunger signals.
So basically, it's
just don't be a bitch.
Nah, but it can affect your bone density and all that kind of stuff, can't it?
Well, that's because you don't eat, do you? Like people don't, people that have to
Manjaro, that's the other one, Manjaro.
Yeah. But the people that it's making you not eat, so you don't eat, and if you're the person that when you were hungry had to eat, then you just won't eat, and then you'll be malnourished to fuck, and then your bone density is fucked. And
it sounds like a bad cycle.
Yeah.
You're just fueling in the other direction.
Some very young people using it. I'm like, you need to kind of learn how to hone, like just being hungry. Like,
yeah,
I can maybe excuse it for like, let's say like 3 weeks out where the hunger is like fucking insane.
Oh yeah. I think that's actually a setting where I think it would have purpose.
Yeah, but not like all year round, just so you not want to eat cakes.
For casual use, I would be like, no. Like, it's the same with any drug, really. Like with bodybuilding, I'm always like, unless you're trying to like get on stage and win a substantial amount of money or a contract, I'm kind of like avoid stuff if you can.
I mean, I don't know. Is it something that's been used in bodybuilding?
I assume so, because it's a lot of the people. Like a lot of the people I know that I have supplement shops have semaglutide for sale in their supplement shops. It's definitely
Dr. Mike was pushing it for a while, wasn't he? When he was online, he was on one of the podcasts. Mike Israel, I know he was using it pre-contest and stuff.
Well, why didn't he get in shape?
I was waiting for you to say that.
Mike, you're a bad excuse of someone we need a stronger candidate.
Yeah, I know he was kind of can do it. And he said there's even better ones than all the ones that we even know about. So maybe I need some of that. Actually, I don't, because I've still got no appetite. But when things kick in, I will get appetite and I will want to eat shit, unfortunately.
Yeah, I just think that it's a good exercise on mental fortitude, which for me was what bodybuilding was all about anyway.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing I was going with.
That's what bodybuilding's meant to be, isn't it? Like if you can't control your appetite, how are you going to go through a hard set?
Yeah,
it's the same. It's all that same principle. It's like anything's gonna. There's so many things in bodybuilding or anything that's going to challenge you. That if you run away from challenge, then how are you going to achieve anything anywhere?
Yeah,
that's that's what you're teaching people from a basic kind of format.
Yeah, we had this discussion last week, didn't you, about everybody just trying to find the easier way.
The easy route. But ease if something's easy when you get it, does it feel good? Probably not.
No, that's the thing.
I was going to get into a little bit of Jordan Peterson psychology there, but I won't bother shit everybody. Yeah, because
you might as well.
The whole of it's like this is when you see you get something. It doesn't matter if it's hard or it's when you actually get it. It's the process of getting it, isn't it? So if you got there the hard way, that's what creates the positive emotion and all.
Yeah, because if something took a lot of you to get it, there's an appreciation for its reach. Whereas if it literally took nothing of you, then it's taken for granted anyway because it was easy. You
don't think bodybuilding is like a skill set as well, like it, and it's not just for bodybuilding. Like the things I learned in bodybuilding did sort my life out, actually. And by you, I'm sure you feel the same. So yeah, I think trying to find a way to not feel that is just, where does that end?
It's weird, isn't it? Because it depends in life. There's so many. It's all just loads of jigsaw pieces, because when it comes to like work, for example, I do always try to find the simplest route to achieve the maximum outcome. But it's so set independent, because it depends if that thing to me is personal or if it's not. Like, if I want to get a job done and I want it to look good, but I don't care about the process of doing it, that does exist in my world as well. But with bodybuilding, it doesn't exist. Because
Yeah,
I've
you're like
you
me,
know,
Jim. So you'd rather pay somebody to put those set of shelves up than piss on
for
doing it
sure, for
yourself.
sure, and
Yeah.
and also the emphasis on the process towards having it there for some things is important. For some things, it just isn't, and
Yeah,
I
I get
can't
it.
really determine why. It just, I suppose it's whether it's what does it mean to you that determines that being the case or not.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, it would need to mean something.
Like for example, you two gents with your picture behind you, yeah. So you got that metal fence around the hardcore corner, yeah. You're happy as long as that fucking thing's up. But there'll be someone out there that'll be like, I need to put that up myself so that when I look at it, I'm like, I put that up.
If I
Yeah.
could have put that up, I probably would have, but I know I am totally shit at doing stuff like that, so I didn't do that.
So I thought, fuck that, I'm not. But you know what I mean?
Like, yeah, 100%. Like with the gym, everything I could do, I did it.
Yeah.
But everything I couldn't do, I was I had to get the other people to do. But yeah, I was in there because it's personal type of thing.
For sure. And that's because you want to be able to look at that thing from hereafter and be able to reminisce on the memory of. Like, there's something about triggering a time, formatting it. You know, like with our bodybuilding, with winning whatever show you've won, you look at the trophy, but the trophy is something that makes you think of the process towards getting the trophy, not the trophy itself. So it's the same with, things you do. So I look at like something like that, like that one that you have, but a better one. And I'm like, I can look at that and I don't really think of the day that I did a show, but I think of all the years leading to it where I spent money on my overdraft on fish and chicken and shit. And it was a grind and a slog. And I'm like, well, but persistence and going through the turmoil led to something. So it's all just
Do you
symbolic.
think that's why? Because I was like this. Is that the British Finals trophy, Jim?
Yeah, my one's not as good as
mine's
yours.
very similar. No,
yours is shorter and fatter, like a golf one. I like your one.
I can't remember. It's in the gym.
Yours is more chunky.
Because you get like a figure under the big cup, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah, the figures are.
I remember every guy was like, because when you win, you don't like. I've never been one of those people where you're doing like a backflip, like I wish I was, because it looks like I'm a little bit miserable and a bit like unappreciative. But yeah, it's the whole thing before, and then you get the trophy, say, okay, right, see you later, bye. And he's like smiling, and I was like, well, I am happy, but just it's not coming out that way.
There's intrinsic people and there's external, and you know, people that they show what they feel heavily, or there's people that just like they sit and process. And I think you're the type of guy that a lot goes on in here more so than it does here.
Yeah, 100%. And just when you said about there before, being a bit more like present, weird, because somebody asked me this literally yesterday about like, oh, what does it feel like when you win? I don't know. It's like, yeah, I guess the British final was a big win. I can't actually remember the feeling when I won, what I felt like when they called my name out, but I can remember the bit where you're like waiting to see if your name's coming and you get that kind of shit, like fucking.
Oh no,
you don't put your head down, don't you?
Yeah.
But then when you actually get it, I don't remember any contest what I actually felt like. That's probably me being a little bit emotionally challenged. I don't know.
That, and maybe
a lot of bodybuilders are like that, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, that, and also maybe because it wasn't a feeling you really expected to have, you can't capture it.
Yeah, maybe.
Because you've probably spent more of your time feeling like you're not going to win than you have felt like you're going to win. So you're more familiar with the emotion and the feeling towards, it might not be my time. So the anxiety before you get announced as the winner is a common feeling that we have just generally in life. We spend most of our time in the in-between, don't we? Of, I don't know if this is going to work out or if it's not. So it's a very familiar feel. So if you spend your time feeling a certain way more often, it's so easy to kind of bring it to the surface. Whereas winning comes far and few. And that's kind of hard to capture that feeling because it's a moment of all moments that's so small and particular. And I suppose there's other people that will be like, yeah, but it's such a strong feeling for me that it outshined everything. I could feel it all the time. I've never been able to either. Like I don't feel like I've ever won a pro show. But I can remember the times where I've been disappointed way easier.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
So it is strange.
Do you think the win is a relief and then the loss is more emotional?
I think the win doesn't change you, the losses do. So therefore they stick with you longer. Because I think when you win, you're just like, okay, I got something right. and it doesn't. Okay, what do I need to change? So therefore, it doesn't land on the chest the same. Whereas when you lose, you're like, fuck, I have to change everything from now forward because something's got to change because I don't want this again. You
Yeah,
know,
so it's kind of easier to process the path after a loss.
for
I did
sure.
I did find that I did win some stuff once upon a time, and I do remember that was weirder.
Mm.
Like to be like, oh, this season has actually all gone my way. Like,
We're not prepared for it. Now,
yeah,
even though we do prepare for it, we emotionally aren't prepared for it because we've all walked into bodybuilding through a desire or a need to try to elevate ourselves because we're not overly confident, maybe. So just our personalities determine so much of these feelings, I suppose. And again, I probably sound like I'm getting overcomplicated,
No, not at all.
but
Not
it
at all.
feels, yeah, no, it feels very relevant right now in this discussion. So that's why I'm just saying what I say right now, because it seems to be a common theme amongst us all.
I think that's why a lot of bodybuilders get like imposter syndrome.
Yeah, because you don't believe.
Yeah, like fuck. Like I used to think, like, how am I beating these guys? Like well,
Yeah.
somebody's got to do it. So there's no
And that's
reason
the
why
thing
it
is
can't be you.
trying to summon that, like that's a prime feeling of that is like even now getting ready for say the Arnold. You know, there's this whole, oh, realistically you've got Brandon Curry in there, you've got Samson Dwyer, you've got, so like, oh, you can't win. But then on the way up, any of us that have even got as far as we had those same feelings back then, and then one day it was different.
Yeah,
So it is hard to lock into that, but it's always possible. But it just doesn't look possible till it's become a fact.
mm,
So, 4 years ago, people probably would have never thought that Samson would win the Olympia.
yeah.
Never
And
going to
again, with
be.
bodybuilding as well, like
Yeah,
it's like everybody thought Ronnie was untouchable until he hurt his lat, and he had
yeah,
that year we had the funny lat and everything.
yeah,
You know, God forbid, I'm not going to wish this on anybody. Like Samson could turn up with an injury, or Derek
for
could
sure.
pop a fucking hamstring. Like,
And that's even more so in bodybuilding because it is something that's based purely on the physicality of what's presented in front of you.
yeah,
You know, a hurt man is evident physically, whereas other endeavors, people can hide a lot of what's going on and still win. But with bodybuilding, if there's a physical blow or damage to someone, that you can actually see, it's kind of hard to override that shit. So anyway, like, I suppose what we're saying is like, don't ever think that you can't, but I do get that it does feel like you can't.
yeah, we are a bit weird, aren't we?
we,
Yeah,
we we practice everything. We do practice everything in order to win, but there is a humble nature to a bodybuilder where they don't expect to win,
yeah.
which
I
I
always
actually
get
quite
surprised.
like.
I always get surprised with you, James. How like I'm not saying you lack self confidence, but again, like I don't want to start kissing your ass, but you don't really like realize how good you are. Same with you, Dan. I'm not going to say that about you as well.
Mm,
Like you think you're utter shit. I know you joke about it and stuff, but I do get the feeling like you don't like realize how good you are. And again, that's probably a little bit of a good thing in a way, because you don't want to be that arrogant prick who thinks they're awesome and kicking everybody's ass, because that's going to take your foot off the gas as well. But yeah, there's times when I've heard you say stuff, James. I'm like, really? Like,
mm.
do you not look in the mirror?
I think a lot of that's just. I think a lot of us feel it, but we voice it more now because of social media. So I think everybody probably had these feelings over the years, but there was no platform or no. You didn't really put it out there, did you? Like you could wake up one day and have a really shit day, and there was no platform to post and say today's a shit day. So
Mm,
therefore, the days would pass. A year could pass before anyone knows how you're feeling. You'd only know how someone felt when they do an interview for a magazine or a video or something.
mm.
Whereas now we're almost so available that it's very much different now that you see these feelings that we're having more frequently, which were probably always there, but from a kind of unfortunate standpoint, they're so much more available now that it kind of makes everything a little bit different. It probably would be good, like you say, to spend an entire year off of this because then people's feelings towards you would be even different because, well, people don't see, they don't know, and they don't judge, you know? It's just a different time. I think it's just a very different time. We're just so, like I say, we all do YouTube videos. We're all trying to keep in touch with our audience because we kind of respect and appreciate that there is an audience because we're kind of grateful for it. And with that comes a sense of loyalty to not only do the content, but to be transparent as you can, which in many ways is great, but in many ways is bad. And yeah, it can go one way or the other, can't it? So I probably felt exactly the same when I was coming up as an amateur, but I just didn't post shit because I didn't have the ability to post it. Like I probably never felt that confident, really. And again, they're not feeling confident, I suppose, is a way for us to protect ourselves, because if we do fail, then we're like, well, I wasn't confident, which is bad. It's sad because we shouldn't be that way. But yeah, it's almost a way to like be able to like go, well, you know, I did say, because it's self-protection.
Yes, yeah. Self-preservation.
Yeah, because when you are up, when you are elevated, when you are up and you fall, stabs.
Yeah, it stabs. Yeah. But you're right, like the magazines, if you're doing an interview like once every 6 months, you're probably not going to air that sort of stuff, are you?
No. And to be fair, all these magazines were set normally around competition time. So it's going to be a very consistent flow of how people are presenting themselves, because they're all kind of in the same boat. You're not seeing the ups and downs of the entire year, the cycle of the year, and what's going on in people's lives.
Well, from a competitive standpoint, that was like kind of an interesting way to watch people like psych themselves up. Like like Ronnie Coleman, The Unbelievable was the DVD meant to psychologically destroy everyone, wasn't it?
It was put out to make everyone feel inferior.
Yeah.
Because he was lifting, the whole point was like, I'm lifting all this, none of you will touch this. And then it's either to make them feel like they can't, or make them do it and then hurt themselves.
Yeah.
Strategic, you know, like, okay, you want to be as big as me, then you do the 10 plate T-bar row and fuck your back up.
Yeah.
Because then you won't be able to compete. So it was like a challenge.
Yeah,
Dorian
did that with the '93 picks, didn't he? He's a smart guy, Dorian. Everybody says like, yeah, he was the shadow, but he wasn't that much of a shadow. They sent Peter McGough some pictures to put in the magazine. And they say like when they went over to the weight offices, like Paul Dillett and them, like those guys saw the pictures, they're like, oh fuck, like he said he just saw his face like drop. But yeah, Dawes was a smart guy. Just when you're on about like putting something out there, yeah, that was a smart move, dropping those pictures like
sure.
like, was it like 6 weeks out from the war or something like that?
That's like this year, to be fair with you, like you've said to me a lot of time, like don't overpost kind of thing as a mate. Like, so what I've done this year, actually, I've shown far less. So
I just think it's a bit more exciting, man, and fucking.
For sure.
Basically, where I was going with it as well, James. Basically, where I was going with it as well, just what you said before about making yourself very available. Like, and who am I to kind of give you advice? I'm fucking your granddad or whatever. But like,
very worthy.
Just like when you say about the gym, like now, let's say if I'm in the gym now, obviously I'm not as serious about I'm serious about my training. I'm not competing and stuff, and it's not the end of the world if someone says, "Hey, can I have a chat in the middle of the set nowadays?" And I know, like, once you start doing that, it just escalates and escalates. And I'm kind of at that point now where I'm not saying I can't train, but I'm getting stopped like 5, 6, 7 times because I've allowed it to kind of happen. Because you own the gym and stuff, and you want to, and I generally do want to chat to people, but just not for that hour and a half. So I might have to change my training time a little bit just to kind of stave it off a little bit. And that's what I was kind of going with you. Like, you get pulled left, right, and center and stuff, and it's nice. Sometimes you just keep the fucking hoodie on and just get on with it.
That's why I say I think this whole change with the gym and stuff has actually been a blessing, because it's forced that to happen. Now I go to a gym where people just leave me alone, and I
do you feel like you have that more energy now?
Way more, and I do enjoy it more. I feel like James the bodybuilder rather than James the people pleaser.
Yeah,
you know, which is always going to be a battle for me, because I am in my nature to do that. So so all you can do is choose an environment that doesn't require that of you. So therefore, you don't exercise that part of you. So it's just a choice.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't, if people did want to talk to me a lot, I can't say that I could not do it, because my nature is to do so. So you have to be very smart in, okay, where should I be and what time, like you said.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, because you are that person. You are an inviting person. You are an approachable person, and that is who you are. And you're right. You know, you are. So yeah, I'm glad you said it before I brought it up. Yeah, you need to do it where people just kind of know the rules.
Sure.
You know, it's not that they're, you know, you just don't talk to them when they're training. You just
I think the nature is as well is that like the gym I'm in at the minute, people are a little bit more self-focused on their training, which is good, because then they're in the same boat as me. They are there to like purely to improve. So therefore, why they don't want to talk because they're also there to
Yeah.
improve. So that makes a really good atmosphere as well.
Yeah, wicked.
Mm.
I thought it'd just be really cool as well for like you just show up like 2 weeks out, like boom, like fucking because everybody posts stuff like every day with the tops off and the legs out and stuff in it. I'm not saying it's getting boring, it's not getting boring, but like
No, but it does
much
need sense to us.
prefer build a little bit of excitement up and like, hey, fuck, I didn't realize he was looking
Yeah.
like it's kind of what you kind of just done to be fair, because like, oh fuck, like even I noticed when you sent the real lat spread, the first thing I noticed was the waist from the back.
Mm.
And we're gonna have to think of a new name for you, James. Not the shed. I know that's to do with your kind of surname, but gonna have to be like a more aesthetic name now, James. It's
Yeah. As like
James
I said,
the patio,
the patio, the
the
patio,
porch.
the yeah, that's all I've put out. Like I'm not putting anything else out, and that was purely because it's Stefan.
Yeah,
Because I sent him a shot, and he was like, so I was like, okay, well if he feels that way, then please do. But yeah, like from now to the show, there probably won't be any shots. To be fair.
Well,
yeah, I kind of like it.
well, I was just like, fuck, like, because it was like, oh, James is going to come on. I was like, fucking, it must be close. It was like 3 weeks. And I was like, 3 weeks. But I know what, like Steve, who's doing his first show, I've seen him 3 times a week. I know exactly when his show is. I don't even know who he is. But
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I was like, fuck, it's only 3 weeks. It's actually been that long, which was like, yeah, exciting. Way more
yeah,
exciting.
for sure. And I think that's because of like again not overindulging with here I am, here I am, here I am, here I am. Just like, of course, I film for the YouTube, and that's like one video a week, but it's such a separate place and it's not in your face. Like, if you want to come see it, come to that. But even that's like, I don't film revealing stuff really. I just wanted to put out a series of videos that are kind of like black and white, kind of like the old school stuff that hopefully stand the test of time. And in 5, 10 years' time from now, people are like, oh, I like watching those videos and go back to them because
Yeah.
that's what I
yeah.
do.
It's
Is
nice
like,
to go. It's nice to go back at them for yourself as well,
for
mate.
sure. I still go back to like,
Also,
like the animal Evan prep series for like the Arnold 2011 and 12 because I feel like there's some of the best videos out there, and that's what I wanted to basically do is just do something like that for the future generation if they feel the same.
Yeah.
I mean, I know
Yes.
you have like sponsorship obligations and stuff, James, and this is like a tough double-edged sword because someone will have in the contract that you have to do X amount of videos a week and all this kind of stuff, and you have to keep your sponsor happy. So you got this young guy who wants to get a sponsor, so they're doing that much video work and stuff that it's kind of taken away from the training. So you're trying to get a sponsor to be a better bodybuilder, but because it's affecting the training so much, you're kind of not going to become a better bodybuilder, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's why
Uh,
I can only speak on me. When people ask me, I'm like, focus on the bodybuilding first. Get good at it. Actually be a reputable pro, get to the Olympia, and then you can demand.
yeah,
Like, I'm like, don't if you're so fucking focused on having a sponsor because you're good at filming content, then you're not a competitive bodybuilder, you're a content creator. And that's fine. It's just a different thing. So I can only speak for me. I'm like, okay, well, I don't expect to get paid from bodybuilding anytime soon unless I'm standing on pro stages and next to the big boys. So I need to get a living, I need to earn money, and I need to make sure that I can pay to do that and work hard to do that. Then, when I'm on those stages, getting top threes in pro shows and actually being compared to people that are really good at bodybuilding, then I feel like I can approach a company and say, look, I'm a relatively successful bodybuilder. I'd like to work with you. But to think that I deserve anything before that as a bodybuilder is, for me, is a little bit stuck up. Because I say all the time to people that are my friends and stuff, I'm like, you ain't gonna get nothing until you do something.
yeah,
Um, unless you are purely, like I say, content creator who's just hit the gold mine when it comes to like algorithm and popularity, and that's fine. Again, there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not the path I walked. So how can I comment on that? I get kids ask me all the time. I'm like, look, just get good at bodybuilding. Just get really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
It is right. And that's what it is that, and it happened even with when I was working like in schools and I did some work with like primary schools. And you used to like when I was a kid, you'd ask like, the girls or whatever, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be a famous singer, I want to be a famous dancer, I want to be a
Mhm.
and now you would ask them and they go, I want to be famous.
Yeah,
And you'd be like, famous what? And
there's
they're
no
like,
isolation to the focus.
they're
There's
like,
no choice of path. It's just
yeah, yeah,
whatever will get me famous.
yeah, yeah. To say, well, what just fame? And they're like, yeah, and
Like
it is,
famous is a role.
yeah, like it's a thing. Yeah, famous what? Um,
yeah.
and I'm
Most kids say now they want to be an influencer, which is a bit crazy, but hey, I say this all the time because we bang on about like not doing this, I'm not saying not do it because all of that's not going away, and if anything, it's just going to escalate. But it is a little bit crazy that's like people's kind of desire to be an influencer type of thing.
Different time, innit, man?
But
Hey, why not? People are making millions, so hey, if you
well,
can
that's
do
what
that,
I say to people, and it's the same for me. Bodybuilding is still a hobby. It is a hobby.
It's a hobby until you're literally making a good
Yeah.
few grand a fucking month.
Yeah. And
if you can't pay for your mortgage and your food and everything that it costs to live, it's still a hobby, my friend.
yeah, and you know, good. Like good, go and do it.
If you love bodybuilding, you don't care if it's a hobby.
Yeah.
If one day it becomes something that pays your bills, all the power to you and well done.
Yeah.
If it doesn't, you can still be a very fucking good bodybuilder and love it.
Well,
But,
and also there is enough time to actually have a career. You can do other
oh,
stuff.
mate, people that think they can't work and bodybuild at the same time, no shit. I used to do removals we used to get to the fucking depot for like 6 a.m. We were in up London in town by like, maybe like 9 a.m. I went back to like 3:30 p.m. And then I'd go to the gym and train at 4. And if I had to do cardio in the morning getting ready for a contest, the cardio was at 5 a.m. outside with a sniffling nose, walking down the street with a fucking rain jacket on in the winter.
Yeah, I remember. I used to put bread bags in my trainers when it was raining, so I didn't use.
There you go.
And now people are complaining that I gotta go on the stairmaster in a nice warm gym. It is crazy. I'm not going to go on the gym.
I remember like
getting stopped by the police. Like, wait, where are you on the streets at 4:30 in the morning? Because I got to go to work at 6.
My mum was still in bed when I was doing cardio outside because I was like, I'm going to be Junior Mr. Bring.
Yeah, I do. Do you know what? I do miss those days sometimes because I fucking like. Well, you've probably still got that, James, because you're at the top level, but that desire level was like human, like just fucking.
It's high, but it's different now because there is easier paths to the. You don't have to do what you don't have to do. You've done such foundation there that you don't necessarily have to do what you used to, which is good and bad. The bad is that when you have to do those things, like we were saying earlier, the gratification you get from the process is so high. Because if you've had to go out through the whole winter at 5 a.m. in the morning doing your cardio and trying to keep your heart rate up, even though you're walking outside in the cold, when you do a show and win, you're like, man, I fucking worked for that. Whereas obviously now it's very different. I've got a comfy Nautilus bike in my living room. I've got YouTube on, headphones on, sweating, and get to have my breakfast as soon as I'm off the fucking bike, which, obviously is just as beneficial when it comes to the actual process. But the reward and the feeling of actually being dedicated to your endeavor feels a little bit different. But then I also, at the same time, I'm like, well, I kind of deserve to sit on the Nautilus bike now because I have done quite a few years.
But do you remember, like, I get it even just with the small stuff, like, I'm lucky enough to get like free protein. I remember saving my money to buy protein.
Oh, mate, absolutely.
Walking in the shop and being like buzzing, like which protein do I?
What should I buy today?
Yeah, like even like the little joy.
I used to spend all of my wages.
Yeah,
just go to this sports shop, like I can't remember what it's called now, Graham Madison shop, and just buy all my Metrex and stuff. And that was it. It was gone.
Right, that's it.
Okay, no money left.
Mate, I
loved it. The buzz.
I say Dorian Yates approved CMP. You get the Pro Peptide, Pro Recover.
That's tasted so bad.
People love the Pro Recover.
Pro MR.
Pro Peptide was the worst.
I used to love it, bro. For some reason.
Did you?
Yeah, Pro Peptide was a good protein. The proteins now, majority of them are fucking shit. The price of the whey, skim milk in there and stuff. Pro Pep was actually a really good protein. Quick story: I bought I was very OCD with contest prep and everything, so I worked out how many sachets of Pro MR I would need for the whole prep, and I bought them all and stored them up on the wall in my kitchen. And then my training partner at the time was like, Auntie fucking weirdo, where you got always like 25 boxes of protein for up front, and I was like, that's what I need. And there was something happened to CMP distribution or whatever, and the supply got cut off. And I said, can I buy one of these boxes of protein? I was like, fuck off. They're all mine. Yeah, you should have stopped up, man.
The funny thing is, Pro MR was nice, but Pro MS did a caramel flavor or a salted caramel, which they didn't do on Pro MR, and it was even better. It was the girls one.
The girls one.
Well, that's the secret, James. You were on the girls protein.
I was on the girls protein. But I used to use Pro Mass as well.
Yeah, I used to just shit my pants.
You had to use like that much powder of Pro Mass, and I didn't even have a shaker back. Yeah, and I didn't even have a shaker back then. I used to try and mix it in like a pint glass. And
can you remember how hard it was to get a shaker?
Yeah, I know. There was no shakers around.
Now you're just throwing them around all over. But shit, you couldn't get it. I remember I got one from like
Dude, I never had a
Some
shaker.
like department store I thought was amazing. Like, it's fucking shaker because you was just trying to like mix it
No,
up.
we got posh ones, metal ones coming out of our ass. Yeah, I never had a shaker when I was younger. It was always trying to like, you know, remember when pre-workouts first come out? You didn't have a fucking shaker.
Oh,
I can't remember. There's no exploding, like trying to mix it up in a.
Yeah, mate. The No Explode was one of
cup.
the first ones I used. Used to really like that.
the original was good.
Yeah,
Really good.
it was good.
Yeah, it's dog shit now, unfortunately. They're all
They're all just tame.
commercialised like
They're all
that.
a bit tame now.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Should I ask some of these questions?
Yeah, we don't want to keep James too long because I know what it's like when you're like 4 weeks out, James. And again, I know you're super polite and say, "Hey, fine, guys," but really, you just want to fucking go to bed.
We're in it for that.
It's not mean that.
Gun edge. 22 inch, maybe 23, James. 23 inch gun show.
28.
At least 22. Your arms have come up a lot, haven't they, James, the last couple of years?
Yeah. Got the
I want that
triceps.
bicep. Well, could you sell me the bicep machine? Is that your bicep machine, James? Without getting controversial.
I've sold everything I had.
You motherfucker.
I
was going to message you for as a joke to say, could I buy that side?
No, I would have.
You bought that for yourself, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah,
no worries.
Otherwise, I would have. But I tell you what, I've got a few sources that might be able to sort that as well.
Yeah, that is probably the best bicep machine I've ever used. That one, just basic kind of nice feel on it, isn't it? So
I don't even know the one you're talking about.
He likes the Cybex, the wheelchair one, isn't it? That's the one you like.
Is it the wheelchair one? Is that what it is?
It's actually the wheelchair version.
It's got like a double pad.
Yeah.
When you said, what's the reason for the double pad when I was on there?
It was because the wheelchair's lower, so when you take that second top pad off, it's more the height. I've been using a lot of the Nautilus Nitro because Darkside's got quite a lot of that. That's pretty nice.
Yeah, we've got the Nautilus Nitro plate-loaded bicep one.
You
can angle back a bit. Yeah.
So
all the old stuff, man, you can't beat
some good shit, man. The old shit's good.
Sorry, Dan, I interrupted your question there.
Yeah, sorry, we were getting excited about
That's what this is. We've got for backup. There were two Stefan questions.
Yeah, man.
I'm sure I can wrap them into one. One of them was about, other than bodybuilding, what have you learned with being with Stefan? Is there anything extracurricular?
Nah, it just reinforces just things that I find important in people, just being nice and being kind and just like how important it is just to invest in people that actually have their best intentions for you as a person. Like there's nothing like particular, like no, like say curricular, there's no academic or specific thing, but just the well-being of who you spend your time around and talk to, and the faith you have in people is restored when you find people like him. He's just a good person, and that's it really. I can't really say much else.
Does he have any impact on your training, or are you still?
Yeah, he likes to give me like a hand with my training, some of the things. But I do my own training, but obviously he knows exactly what I'm doing, and he'd encourage me to change things like some of my abdominal work. He's had an influence in how I perform certain exercises. If he sees me train, he'd happily message me and say, I think do this, do that. When I was over there, we ran through some exercises and stuff. So he's been really helpful. He loves training. He loves like the whole mechanics of training. So that's sort of part of his interest in bodybuilding as well as the physique. So I'm always happy to have his opinion on training because he's actually pretty clued up.
I like how he's a very straight shooter, isn't he, because of the autism and stuff.
Yeah, because then you're not left confused. You're just like,
okay, bullshit, are you?
Yeah, it's just straight to the point, man. And for my character, I can beat around the bush a little bit of time because the whole trying to be too nice all the time kind of thing. It's great for me to have someone that is a little bit the opposite. That's just like clear cut, because then it makes me not, find too many paths.
I only met him once. I met him at the Arnold when he was with Nathan.
Yeah,
I didn't know he used to be a NABA judge, Stefan.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
because I judged you at the Worlds. I was like, oh god, he's going to because he said such a straight shooter. I was like, did you have me win? He's like, yeah, I had you win the overall. I was like, thank fuck, because he was going to say no, you're fucking shit.
No, dude.
he hasn't got a filter, has he?
No, but anytime we've spoken for physique, he's really highly complimentary. Especially he said from NABA, because he said NABA's known for like more like freaky kind of not aesthetic bodybuilders, and he said when Amph came along, Amph was a freak, but also had a beautiful body.
No, I haven't.
So like, and that's actually literally the words he said. So he's a.
I just didn't know he was involved in NABA at all. Just totally shocked. I didn't know he was a NABA judge.
Yeah, been around a lot.
The other one was, Well, is just training? Like, have you changed anything training wise in this or the pre-prep?
No, not really, mate. Not really. My training's pretty basic. I do chest with a bit of shoulders, train back with some rear delts. I do a day off, then I train arms with some extra shoulders again, and then I do some legs, and then I have a day off. So it's just a little bit of priority on my shoulders because they're just genetically, I don't have like wide clavicles. Um, that's it really. But it's been good because I'm obviously training with like Jordan, who's a bit of a freak genetically with like shoulders. His shoulders are as wide as
Yeah.
barn doors, and he's watched me when I train shoulders, and he's kind of pinpointed, lighten the load, keep it on the shoulders, don't use the traps. There's like a level of being a pussy and a bitch and not lifting weight, but there's also a level of overdoing it and stimulating the wrong areas. And I've done the heavy laterals and the whole like 40 kilo dumbbell laterals, throwing them up, and I always had decent traps. But I always lacked a bit of width, and really, I think it's just because I let the ego carry me a little bit too far and wasn't honest with myself that I'm not using the muscle as good as I could. So, two things that, and then actually when I was with Stefan had me doing very similar things with my shoulders actually as well when I was with him. So now two of the people in my camp have said the same thing. It's great because it gives you like it's a pretty solid answer, isn't it? If two people say the same thing that spend time around you and know you. So that's the only thing that's really happened. Everything else, I'm pretty precise with my training. I think I am quite good at training. Like, I think I'm quite a confident trainer and I can find patterns and movements that feel good. But I don't mind a bit of body English on a few sets. I'm old school as well. If I'm doing a barbell row, that the heavy sets can have a little bit of swing. I don't give a fuck. But I also think as long as you're marrying a few ideas within the workout every time, then you're not missing a trick. So if you're doing somebody like kind of meat and potatoes at the beginning, you can always move on to something later on a machine or something and get more rigid with it, and therefore you've done both. So it's really not that hard, is it? It's not that simple. It's like eating dinner, isn't it? Like you start with something, I don't know, savory or whatever, and then you move on to something sweet. So you've had a bit of both.
Yeah. I mean that was the whole thing with the science being like, do you remember when everyone was like the contraction and then they were doing single arms and it was all here? And I was like, well, if I do a full rep, then I do that bit. And then everyone's like, it's the stretch. And I was like, well, if I do a full rep, then I'm
I
also
still do that bit.
and then it's like, so if I just stay here and just do what I reckon works, then I've managed to survive all the trends.
Yeah, this is why I was never really like a big advocate of prime, because I'm like, well, I'm just going to load the middle peg and make sure that I can complete reps. And if I fail reps, then I'm not strong enough at a certain point in the movement. That's my fault. I was always like, well,
yeah,
I just need to.
I do middle pin on everything.
Yeah, because I'm like, if I'm fatiguing in a certain point on this movement, that's because my muscle needs to get stronger. And that's going to just come from doing it. So, and again, I know, yeah, you can do this bias, that, but really, we shouldn't be adjusting our training to suit us. We should be adjusting ourselves to suit our training.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
I do see some of the younger guys like, and again, I'm not getting on anybody, but I'll see them like, they like the Prime Extreme Raw, for example. They'll have like a 2.5 kilo. They'll do like a 5 kilo or 2.5 kilo. I'm like, fucking too much thinking for me, that shit.
The issue that I have with that is that the resistance at the top is non-existent. So as soon as you've lifted that this much, the drop off is so extreme because that amount of load starts to actually pull over the own machine. So it's like it's just really dishonest. And like, don't get me wrong, it's different if all of your training is done like that and you log everything and you still have information. But I don't log.
Yeah.
So I want to keep it basic. So therefore, I'm just like, okay, let's give me something where I load the same shit all the time. And if I can lift it, I can. If I can't, I can't. If it's too heavy, I'll just take off a little bit of the weight on that same setting and make sure that I can get the amount of reps that I want. If I need to get that bit from the profile, that's what a training partner's for.
Yeah.
It's a forced rep.
But
I'll have a training partner just go, here you go, mate. I'll give you a little bit towards the end of that rep. Beautiful. That's how you build relationships in the gym.
The theory is when you get like to the end of your workout and you start to get fatigued and
you go further.
You're weaker in the contractor position. That's when you load the peg at the top, which again, I get it, but then I don't get it at the same time. Like you just said, just get your training partner.
When are you overextending your training as well? When are you just going too far? Like, because it's almost like, oh, I can squeeze a little bit more juice out of the lemon, so I will. Like, it's okay not to keep squeezing. Like, you can train next time.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to like, and then someone will say, yeah, but if you can rinse everything out of it, then your progress is going to be more over the years. Not if it's to the point where it's stressing you out.
Well, I mean, I know Mike Metzer was an extreme version, but he was saying you squeeze all of it, you're going to dip into something else like CNS, and then your body's going to go, well, I need to deal with that first,
I agree.
So yeah, it's riding the knife edge. And if you squeeze all of it out all the time, that's how you get fucked.
I agree.
Um, do we have any other?
Yeah, there was
Someone
a few questions. There was a few questions on there, John.
say again.
There was quite a few questions on there, actually. Actually, Jim, this is a very, very deep one, which is probably too hard to answer for now. Will you compete after the birth of your child?
Yeah, because I'm trying to qualify for the Olympia, so I have to.
Oh shit! Yeah, I'm just thinking of the timeline there. Shit.
Yeah, man,
It was a question I got asked on the DM.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit. So you will be there. You obviously will be, but you will qualify.
I'll have obviously I'll have a break middle of the year, like as expected. But yeah, no, I plan on doing the Olympia. And then you've got like the British Pro Show later in the year and stuff. Not the saying I'm doing it, I don't know. But there's obviously shows later in the year. And if we're getting ready for the Olympia, it would kind of make sense to then do another qualifier around similar time. So I think it's going to be a pretty busy year regardless. So, and, no disrespect, just because a daughter was born, I still got a job to do.
I know.
And the better I do, and the better I do, while it's young enough to not give a shit, when it doesn't, when it is old enough to understand, it's going to appreciate the work I did.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I was eating tuna fish in the hospital when Lee was born.
Yeah, mate, you still doing your thing, man.
Yeah, fuck.
No
when you look
off.
back, you think, what a dick, but like you see, when in that mode, it's like.
But also at the same time, you got to be happy with your existence and how you live. And if you being a disciplined person towards your bodybuilding is what gives you that sense of peace, then it's so important because your peace is their peace.
Yeah, that's what I want. One of the things I want to teach my daughter as well is like growing up is like you just because there's something sidetracked you or something, or you just don't give up. That's really what I want to instill in her as well because it's such like
because a lot of people do that.
Yeah, definitely the younger generation now. They come like the smallest.
I had a hard day, so I'm calling it a day.
Yeah, fuck that.
Mate, like again, I use this as like not an example, but and this is not me trying to say anything like, oh, this is a good thing to do anything. But when you are like us, you'll find that you can have the biggest tragedy happen in your life, and an hour later you're in the gym. That is just what it is. Like I say, I remember vividly my mum passing away and having to get taken out in a private ambulance, and I was like, what should I do with myself? I know what I'm going to do because I know what will make me feel better. Let's go and train some fucking back really heavy, and it's fine because, and that's that consistency in who you are. Ultimately, is going to get you where you want to get to because you weren't a quitter. I'm not saying there's anything wrong if that day, if something tragic did happen, you're like, I just need a day to myself where I just contemplate and see it. That's absolutely fine.
Yeah,
but don't feel bad. But don't feel bad if you are the way that I just said, because that's not a bad thing either.
I just did that on Thursday evening. I think it was Thursday. Unfortunately, my grandma had a stroke and she's very unwell, unfortunately. And I went to see her. It wasn't the nicest of experiences. She's home now, and I was a little bit upset. And the next thing I did was I went to the gym because that's kind of the only place where I can channel some shit and switch off a little bit. Yeah. Maybe some people wouldn't understand that. I guess normal people. I guess
no, and you don't have to because it could be considered on the outside to many like a very odd thing to do, but those same people probably have something in their life that they would resort to. Whether it be
like a bottle of vodka or something,
or even something silly like going home and reading a book or listening to the radio because it's your piece. That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, when I've had like loss or death in my family, when I've gone and turned to the gym to give me the respite of that thought, I came back and I'm like, I'm ready for anything. Like now I can be the best version to like help everyone around me.
Sure. Like because you do need to deal with that part before you can be any benefit to anybody.
And what I could have done was just totally broken down and melted and been shit for everyone.
Yeah. And it's not worth that.
Yeah. And some people won't resonate, and that's cool. But it's worth an explanation. It's not actually a cunt thing to do to fill your cup so you can fill everyone else's.
Absolutely. You got to, like you say, keep your candle from going dim. Because if you have that, then you can pass on, like you say,
the light.
You can light other candles, mate.
Yeah, man. That was deep, Amp.
Yeah, there's another deep one. I saw this saying the other day, and it is right because you know, I can be a bit of a people pleaser at times, James. I am kind of learning to say no when I generally don't have time to do something or whatever. But
Yeah.
was it you take care of? Was it I'll take care of me for you, and you take care of you for me? That one hit home quite hard. Did I say that right there?
Yeah, I'll take care of me for me, and you take care of you. No, I'll take care of me
No,
for you.
I take care of me for you.
Yeah,
And
you take care of you for me.
me.
But that does
So
work
it's
because if
kind
you're,
of like,
yeah, because it does, it just does.
Yeah.
And I think some people fail to see that.
Yeah.
If you're shit, then you're not good at anybody else anyway. So
No, exactly.
The one thing, obviously, this is quite deep, and I think that is true and very useful. The one thing that I always had a problem was if anyone's negative in your circle, you need to fuck them off immediately.
Which is just so impossible because real life,
yeah,
if anything, you need to just come to a solution that is the best resolve for the current situation, which could be banding together as maybe a few friends and trying to bring that person out of that position. How can you offer yourself? Because the thing is, if a few of you do it, then it doesn't take too much from any one of you.
Yeah.
What's the problem is when you have a friend group that no one ever steps forward and then it's always on you to be the person to pick someone else up because then for the amount of energy that person needs is the amount you lose. Whereas if there's 5 of you, you can all give a little bit of energy each, and that'll, like you say, fill the cup of that one person, and none of you have had to suffer too much.
Yeah.
So it's again being like banding together as a group of friends is probably one of the most important things to do when someone's having a hard time within your circle.
Mm.
Or reach
that's
out,
a really good point. To be fair, that is a really good point. Just taking a little bit from each cup, then kind of draining yourself constantly to try and bring this person back up. Yeah, I get it. I do get it.
I mean, I think it's the same in like any relationship. Me and Alice talk about the cut thing of like together we need to make 100.
Yeah.
Now Alice might be down, she's been poorly or work's been, and she's like, I'm running a 30, and I'm like, it's cool.
I can handle 70 for a while.
Right now I've got 70, but let's move yours up. And if we have a period where we're both running 30s, then we need to sit down and think about how we can make the 100.
Yeah. Smart.
So when you're at 5%, Dan, 2 weeks out,
I just ring Rich Piano and be like, send opiate.
What's the other stuff they used to take that made it feel fuck all? Because we see.
Oh.
Fuad used to talk about it fucking sometimes.
Is it the injectable one?
Yeah, what was it? And it makes you just feel fucking nothing.
Oh, yeah. They were taking it in LA. Come on. LA Pain Med injectable.
Yeah, it just makes you feel shit. I don't know. Like, well, no, it makes you not feel.
Pain Med.
I'm just going to fill this up with water. I think of the name. I'll be 2 seconds. Yeah. I'm going to try and think as well. I keep thinking of carding, but it's not carding. It's not even that. But there is something.
Oh, we're talking about New Bane here.
Yeah, New Bane.
Is that the one you're talking? Is that really what you're talking about? New Bane?
I think we're talking about New Bane.
That's slightly different from Cardamine. It's slightly higher illegal as well.
I thought James said chamomile.
That's slightly different from chamomile as well. Jesus, injectable chamomile tea.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
A chamomile.
New Bane was the 90s thing. It was a demise of a lot of 90s bodybuilders, wasn't it? Unfortunately, shit.
What was who was the guy who like set fire to his cleaner or something in the
Who you associate with? I have no idea. Set fire to his cleaner.
Craig Tyers.
Oh no, yeah, sorry, it was his. No, was it not somebody who was at one of his parties or something?
Him and his wife like made.
Yeah, they killed the linen and then they set fire to in the desert.
It's a cortisol blocker.
Oh,
New Bane. Are we talking about New Bane, James?
No. I'm really confused with what it was now. I can't remember, but it's a shame.
All right,
Cytodren. Sorry.
Cytodren. That's the one.
I've got a box of Cytodren in the drawer.
Oh shit! I knew you were.
20 years out of date.
Let us down.
Yeah, come on, Amp, divvy it out.
Share out the dose.
Didn't I give you some last time, Dan?
I did.
Yeah. Oh, so you knew it was all along. You guys
I couldn't remember what it was called, but I definitely...
Yeah, the name does kind of, because there's so many things in bodybuilding, isn't it? Like Cytomel, Cytodren, Cardarine. They all got kind of similar names, so it gets a bit confusing.
Yeah, Cytodren / Orometin / aminoglutamide.
You know the technical terms and jargon.
Yeah, that's the chemical name, aminoglutamide. I'm really surprised a lot of underground labs don't make that shit anymore because the 90s guys used to love it, didn't they?
Yeah.
For getting you nice and dry and getting your cortisol nice and low. But you used to get the horrible cortisol rebound after it, didn't you? So
So
there was a downside to it, yeah.
Dirty spike afterwards.
What goes up must come down.
Yeah, true.
Someone's just asked who. Oh no, this is a statement. That wasn't a question. I've just seen.
Statement. It was statement.
Favorite British bodybuilder. That was good. Yeah. So
does it not mean who's James's favorite British
Well,
bodybuilder?
I'm gonna change it to that. Obviously, apart from me, because it probably is me. But apart,
I got a lot, man. I can't one answer. I've been very lucky to
top
be
three then, James.
Oh man.
Obviously, Yates is going to be there, isn't he? Somewhere.
Yeah, like if you think of just like bodybuilding in a sense, I'd have to say like of what made me like bodybuilding.
I think I know another one you're going to say as well, but I'll wait till you see his name.
Honestly, the three for me probably would be. I have to put Flex in there because of, again, this is just saying about who's impacted my bodybuilding. Now, Flex impacted my bodybuilding a lot because I watched him turn pro, and I watched a British person in the bodybuilding look to me what became almost a pop star, because he was like the first person that kind of had like an aura about him where it's like, wow, he's actually like an athlete like other sports. Gaspari contract in America, got a series on YouTube called like fucking whatever it was called. It was unheard of at the time. I'd never seen anyone with that exposure or what I felt was that exposure. And that made me like really attracted to what's potentially could come from bodybuilding. And now you could argue Yates just because the amount of times I've looked at his pictures and said, you know, Dorian, but I'm not going to put Dorian in my top three because, in all honesty, on a like personal level, who's inspired my bodybuilding and been helpful, I'll put someone like, so I'll put yourself in there because you've been around at fundamental times. Like when I turned pro, you helped me actually with the last few days because I got stuck. Things weren't quite going right, so I bounced ideas off you, and you kind of put me in the right direction. And I turned pro, so you know, influential. You've been very, very influential and very helpful.
Yes, I thank you, Joe. I do appreciate it, but I always gently just pushed your balls.
No, literally, like I was kind of at a loss because I was at a loss because I had a period where I did the Arnold Europe and things went really tits up because the plan just wasn't very good, and I was like, I kind of need some help, and you helped me balance things out for the Diamond Cup, which was just before
the
British
Polish one.
Yeah, and I had a really good look. I was really happy with that. Egg McMuffin, bro. Egg McMuffin and a few crisps.
Yeah,
I remember that.
secret, that.
So yeah, honestly. So then you kind of reinstalled. Bear in mind, I didn't even place in Europe, and then I got second in Poland to Radek, who won. Who's like a proper celebrity there. So I was really confident, and then I actually went on to beat Samson in the British and win, who beat me a few weeks earlier in the Europe by a long place. So you actually impacted my bodybuilding greater than anyone, actually physically. And then I don't really have a number three because number three could interchange because I've competing with people like Samson's been really inspirational. Sasan's like a guy that I just really like and have a lot of like love towards. Nathan's been very influential watching him come up as a junior, and I wanted to be junior Mr. Britain like him. So I think there's just two that have actually had influence, and that's you and Flex.
I thought you might have said Steve Avery as well. But then again, we just talked about pro level here.
Okay, so yeah, non-pro Steve Avery definitely is one of the most influential because he came at a time where most people, if they hung around with him at that time as a teenager, would have been like, man, fuck bodybuilding. This is not attractive. This is too raw for a fucking teenager to face. Like the things we're doing and like the environments we're in, it's not very. I don't really want to be a part of this, but I was attracted to it because for some reason I just loved that kind of underworld, underground grittiness that bodybuilding had. And it would have put as many people off as it would have attracted. But Steve's very responsible. So Steve, you're very responsible for my bodybuilding. So yeah, Steve, Amph, and Flex. Flex was more from afar, but he's been a great ambassador and he still reaches out to me all the time. Like even after I got the Arnold invite, the first person that called me on the phone was Flex, like just to say, man, congratulations, earned not given. So he still checks up on me every now and then, which is great. And the flexing's funny because it kind of goes hand in hand with Neil, because Neil's always been good as well. Like as a just someone that out of the blue every now and then, how you doing? You can't like you just, do you know what I mean? He just messages and he always uses the C word because he's just like that. So yeah, you and Flex have had the most impact, and then others have all had impact, and it's very interchangeable. But Avery's probably the one that actually physically actually.
Yeah, I just remember you mentioned him like from a lot of your younger years and stuff. And
Yeah.
if you get that influence like early on, that's a massive fucking head start, isn't it?
Mate, most people would have looked at like Avery and his personality at the time and been like, man, this guy's just fucking too much. Like they would have been like, this is too almost Guy Ritchie fucking odd film. I'm not sure I want to be a part of this world because it's like some sort of like something's going to
Quentin
go tits up.
Tarantino of bodybuilding.
Yeah, something's going to go tits up if I hang around in this world for too long. Like it felt very seedy and weird,
Yeah.
but
This
in a
is
good
what it's
way.
weird. Like I know, like when you get people, like when you say, "Oh, when I grew up, I used to watch Commando, Rambo, like Rocky, and all that stuff." This is where I'm going with the bodybuilders. Like the younger guys now, who are they kind of looking up to? It's like, yes, fucking
Most of the
weird,
bodybuilders
man.
I inspired to be like when I was younger. No naming names and that, but I was walking in gyms and seeing people handing out gear here, there, and everywhere. Like big bag of fucking sustenance, here you go, mate, few of them. It was like scenes from The Wrestler, like when he's in the bathroom with the fucking drugs and that. And that was what I was a teenager,
Yeah.
and I was like, just like, and you got to take this, you got to take a Rimidex from, one Rimidex a day from a month out, fucking crush your estrogen, feeling like shit, old school. I used to get on a push bike and I'd have to go and see the person I bought gear off who was like an hour away on a push bike and pay £70 for a bottle of Tren. Like it was just, my youth, my adolescence growing up in bodybuilding was such a bizarre thing, but one I wouldn't change because look at where we are now.
Mm.
It's crazy,
I
really.
remember I used to have to go to the phone box to order my supplements, if you like.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you remember a guy called? Can you guys remember a guy called Mick Hart?
I do know the name.
He brought like a book out. It was kind of like the English version of like the Underground Steroid Handbook. It was like
Was it quite a thin one?
yeah, he was kind of one of the gurus back in the day. I do believe someone might know this in the comments. He might have passed away or he was very unwell at some point. So,
Yeah.
or if not, he must be very old now because I'm old as shit now. And that was like when I was kind of getting started. He was quite old then. So, yeah, it's
Hey,
cool to look back at all that kind of stuff and just different times
I'm
now.
just going back in time now, even like just remembering I'd go to like the guy's house I used to get stuff off. And he'd have like a little IKEA drawer. And he'd just open it and he'd be like, he'd just try and sell me anything. He'd be like, oh, we've also I've got a few of these if you want them. And it'd be like, I don't know, like, it'd be like Desma Winstrol, like fucking injectable Winstrol. And he'd be like, yeah, but there's hardly any left. I've only got like 2 boxes left. So if you want them, you better take them now. And there's me fucking with fuck all money, just like spending my last pocket money on whatever fucking anabolics I can get because I think it's going to give me a % at the show. I'm like,
So
yeah,
you
if I
talk
do.
about the appreciation thing when you got your like 10 amps of like sustenance or something like yeah, like
Dude,
fucking yes.
it was the Desma Winnie. I think it was like 3 in a box.
Yeah, the brown box.
3 and Zomba. It might have been the Zomba. It might have not been that thingy one.
Zambon,
Anyway,
wasn't it? Zambon.
Zambon. And I remember being like, this is the fucking holy grail. Flex. I was always told like by people, Flex loves this. I don't know if he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, Flex Lewis uses this. I'm like, yeah, if I use this, I'm going to look like Flex.
Yeah. Well,
Hypothetically
I remember
speaking, of
it was
course.
like something like you used to pay like £6 for an amp of sustenance if we were to buy it in those days.
Yeah.
And a mate of mine, we all like you just said, we're skint. You got no money, you got your bit of tests, and we used to do each other's shot.
Yeah.
And I remember like I was leaning on the floor and I tried to do this shot of sustenance. It was obviously under prescription, type of thing.
Yeah.
And it like burst out and it was like blood all over the carpet.
Yeah.
I was like, fucking £6 wasted.
Yeah.
It's just like, obviously nowadays you wouldn't think anything like that.
No,
Whatever. But back then I was like, shit, that's my week's gear gone now. Fuck, what am I going to do? Type of thing.
There was
£6.
a time when it was the Dave Palumbo pump and pose. Don't know if you remember that.
Oh, the synthol stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it was like, and I for one show as a junior, I was told to use it, and I remember, I won't say who, but I was like in the change room in Muscle Effects in Croydon.
It was really expensive, wasn't it, for a bottle?
Dude, yeah,
I remember that.
Someone had it, I don't know.
£350 or something.
Yeah, I think I must have fucking like done overtime for fucking 6 weeks just to get a bottle. And I remember like being in the bathroom in this like underground gym in Croydon, like rabies everywhere, like fucking really bad, and getting one of my friends to literally like try to like do these like really artistic tricep, lower tricep, bicep, and then just walking out there like my shit's just so fucked. And then I never used it again because I was like, is it worth this? Is it worth this?
Yeah, a bit of mine tried the full week because Dave used to do like a full cycle of like what you're supposed to do, didn't you? And it just got too painful. He just couldn't take it.
I feel like there was some of the ingredients were in there. I can't remember. I'm sure there was like I swear there was like a little bit of trembolone in it.
You think?
Yeah.
I'm sure there was
that
something like some silica in there as well, wasn't there? Or something.
silica, there might be a little bit of fucking, I don't know. I think it was just a proper concoction of bullshit just to make us
Yeah.
buy it. And you have to buy it off like davepalumbo.com. Wild.
Yeah, I
And
remember
it had to come from America.
Chris Clark created it, and Dave was like the proper distributor for it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Something like that.
I remember there being like a proper website. And I remember like my
Yeah.
first fucking growth hormone that probably wasn't even growth. It was kick tropin. Do you remember that, boys?
Yeah, that's
Green
for some
leaf on it.
shit, you
And
know.
it was so
Fucking
shit.
Chinese one.
And it was only like a year later that I had a friend that was a dealer basically. And I realized how shit it was because it would get sent to him all unlabeled with the labels separate and he'd have to put the labels on himself. And I was like, man, I used to buy that shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
those were great times, though,
Gig
honestly.
Tropin, Rip Tropin, fucking yeah. The Rip Tropin
IG
was good
Tropin,
for a while. Yeah.
IG Tropin. The original gin Tropin
Oh,
was
the
good.
Hydrotropin was the original, wasn't it? Fucking Hydrotropin.
You used to get the gin Tropin AQ stuff, and
Yeah.
I remember I took some to start my jaw started aching. I was like, "Fuck
Oh,
off."
that's probably a good sign though. That's,
Yeah,
the
I'll
teeth.
give it to Andy Taylor. Actually, I said, "Yeah, you can
That's
have
this
that."
shit going.
I don't want a big, massive fucking jaw. Dan's
Yeah.
thinking, "Oh, where can I get some of that shit?"
Yeah, I'm like, fucking
You
sign
can't get it anymore,
I think
unfortunately.
Lewis Breed's got some good growth. He's got a proper jaw.
it.
Lewis has got a proper like bless. I like Lewis. Lewis, if you're watching, I'm not taking the piss. You've just got a proper man jaw. It's like
Got the Yates 97 jaw. We were that ongoing jaw.
yeah.
What do they call them? Mandibles. Is that what they are?
Dude, I always think of a snap turtle. You know the one that
Yeah,
I'm like, oh, don't want to get your finger caught in there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, Dan, give us one more question for Big Jimmy before we let him go, because he'd be
Sorry,
ready
man.
to hear
I
some
was
of
having a
your.
real fun time reminiscing down memory lane of all the old fucking
No, mate,
bodybuilders
I could talk about that shit for years.
uh,
Like, honestly, I was looking through. I've been tidying my office out, and I was looking through some of my old
stuff.
journals from like,
Yeah.
well, scribbling down what I was using. Method Royal Depropionate, which was probably nothing. Like, remember
What's that?
Drive? Can you remember the like 10 ml bottle used to get called Drive?
No.
The theory was if you took Drive, it was called Method Royal Depropionate. That it opened up all the other receptors for the other gears. Like so
So you're
much
like, okay, I'm gonna open up the
focus
door.
shit on it back then. Fucking hell.
Oh mate.
Probably
The only question left was over the years, um, what what people have taught him the most valuable lessons in bodybuilding, which you kind of covered with like who
Yeah,
you look up to,
yeah.
but
I think we've covered pretty much quite a lot here.
I think
Now
I
we're on to
think
the actual important stuff, is what drugs do.
no, we've done them all and a load of really good tangents.
yeah, we've
Yeah.
kept you on for about an hour and a half as well, James. I do appreciate you coming on so close
Yeah,
to the show
man.
as
No,
well.
no, it's cool. Again, it's nice to talk to
You
friends.
seem quite chirpy actually. Usually like 4 weeks out, I just want to hide in a wardrobe.
Depends on the day, man. I've had a pretty good day. Like I said, I went into town today, did a bit of retail therapy, come back with some PS3 games, a few fake plants, and a clock. You know, like I've had a good day,
Nice
really.
array.
Yeah, dude. Like I say, the biggest thing that's helped me is just making this room somewhere I like to just retreat to. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
This has
that's
been
a,
great.
Yeah.
a good man cave.
Yeah, dude. Just
Did you like The Last of Us? Was that
it's
you like?
funny because the story is great, but I don't like Naughty Dog games how they feel. So I don't
Mm.
really get into them because there's just something that doesn't pack a punch for me. So I've been
Did you
playing
play the
Silent Hill.
second one? Did you play the second one?
No, I tell you what, I have been playing Dan though, the Silent Hill 2 remake, and it's fucking good.
Really?
Yeah, I've been playing it last night, and let me just give a real quick because of the gamer geek side of me. Just if anyone's interested in Silent Hill, which probably not. The whole point of the fucking story, dude, is dark as fuck. Is the main guy's called James, so I can obviously relate. And he is in a town of weird, basically manifested thoughts and visions of how he feels inside, and it's all to do with the sex deprivation, a sick wife, not being able to like let go of guilt, and like it's basically everything that he sees and manifests in front of him is like monsters and stuff. It's all based on his weird inner feelings as a man, but very real human things that people don't want to talk about. Like, for example, his wife is basically terminally ill and therefore isn't sexually available. And he is obviously very, very frustrated. And a lot of what he sees are like images of like monsters that all represent sex and like rape and shit. But it's weird. It's just a great game because it's
Yeah,
just it explores like the psychology of man, which I'm not saying you should be a fucking weird rapist, guys. I'm not saying that at all.
yeah. Just be a normal rapist.
But don't get be a normal one. But just honestly, what a game! Like fucking hell, the execution, the sound on there. You're walking around and you're hearing sounds like industrial steel pipes, just like out of nowhere, and you're in this like rusty, dark place where there's a lot of like mechanics and I don't know. It's just sick, sick. And for you need to
I
watch
used
this
to play
fucking.
the original, like the old one back on like
The old one
the
was
very
so good as
first
well.
one, like on the
PS1.
PlayStation, and even it was good back then. Like, even the graphics weren't as good, all that kind of stuff.
Dude, the atmosphere.
Nowadays, I keep being very tempted to get a new PS.
I would love
You
for
know,
you to play Silent. I would love for you to play Silent Hill 2, but just don't play it while you're taking. Well, you'll probably never take Trembolone again because there's no need.
no,
But
I've had no tremolo since
yeah,
2016. James, it's
just
gone.
don't play Silent Hill on Trembolone because it's going to take you. It'll take you to some certain places.
Oh, that's me out.
No,
Has the
actually, you
hard
should.
testing gone in yet, James, or not?
Dan. Do you know what? We haven't got that on the list of the drugs. I literally
No?
just. I won't lie. I started Winstrol today. That's the only thing that's changed.
Yeah.
And I do the thing with Winnie, I do notice like quite quickly that I just feel like my knees and shit, just like fuck off.
Oh, literally within, I said this a few months back to a guy. When I used to take Winnie, within like 7 days, my shoulders would ache.
Yeah.
I always suggest to people, if you're taking any Winnie, just up your rep range because you're going to hurt something.
Yeah,
It pulls
it's
all
weird.
the
Isn't there
fruit
these
up the
like
joint, doesn't it?
yeah it sounds like bro science, but bro science is real like to a certain degree because of experience. Like there are certain things and certain drugs that like people
Dry
say in
you
off
out.
season, they're like nandrolone's great because your joints feel good. The reason nandrolone's good in off season is because the retention that comes with it allows for you to feel safer. There is merit to the things we say. We're not saying the technical reason as to why to a degree, but Winnie, for example, shit gets dry, man. It just does, and especially when you're doing it pre-contest close to a show when you're controlling estrogen and body fat's lower, and even fat consumption's down. A lot of these things they take an effect, man. So yeah, I think the next few days I'm gonna probably sound like a stick man moving around. Like
We just had the bro science chat on the call before, didn't we, Dan? About like, yeah, there might be any scientific studies covering this, but like bro science, we've done that bro science over a period of time, and some things just work without
some
any
things just
science
are
or
what they are without having to explain.
yeah.
Like for example, like things like clenbuterol, like there's an anxiety that comes with it. There's also, I think, an issue on the respiratory system. I feel like it makes it harder to breathe sometimes, which, from a science standpoint, is odd because, from my understanding, clenbuterol's like used to help with treating like bronchitis. So
Yeah.
actually allow you to breathe, so help with like breathing. But maybe like 1+1 isn't 2. It can have a negative effect. Because I always notice when clenbuterol's in, I actually feel more like gaspy because of heart rate or whatever it comes from it. So there are these little bro things, and it's just, but they're good little bits of information to pass on someone else so they can expect something to happen. It's like trend cough. Trend cough isn't because of actual trenbolone itself; it's because of the alcohol content suspension in the trenbolone is often higher, isn't it? It's in a higher thing because you can still get that cough off of any drug
Yeah.
if you clip a little vessel or whatever. But you'll just notice that trenbolone does it more often because of, again, I think it's because of the alcohol. Because even if you do like an injection and you use an alcohol wipe, sometimes if you kind of like press on it after, which you're not actually really meant to do because they're not meant for open wounds, they're meant for preparation and then drier wipes are for after. But anyway, if you get like a little bit of alcohol in like one of those, sometimes you'll get that little bit of metallic-y taste and you're like, oh, and it's just, again, I think it's just alcohol exposure to vessels, if a vessel's been clipped or something like that.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, my point was that bro science is only throwaway if it's being analyzed by an idiot.
yeah,
Like if you've gone and seen loads of people do loads of stuff and got the same result, which in our time bodybuilding,
that's most of
like,
what bodybuilding is.
like that is a case study. And I always go on about it. If you're clever enough to actually gather that information, that is a case study, and
If
that's
you
what
want,
you do.
if you want a head to increase in 10 centimeter diameter, you take Enadrol. It's
Yeah,
just, if you don't
15
think your
at
head,
least.
yeah, if you don't think your head's big enough, take Enadrol.
yeah.
You
It's
know, the
just the way it
massive
is.
jaw takes some growth.
If you ask Lewis what growth he takes, because he'll have the link.
If you want some bone spurs on your shoulders, you get some Winstrol for like 20 weeks. Like,
Yeah,
Oh man,
that's all the science we need.
it's great. But bodybuilding it is great because it's something you can always talk about. And these conversations are funner than the ones that are being had in today's kind of times because everyone's so concerned again, like you say, with all those little minutiae specifics about how to train. No, man, just talk about the fun shit and train. Fuck it.
It's supposed to be fun
With
because,
the
like you
drugs.
said, it's for most people it's a hobby, and hobby should be.
Again, another thing in bodybuilding, if you shave the goatee, you do get stronger. Because I know when I get rid of the beard, if I shave here and back, branch more and activates, and I do lift more in the gym.
Yeah, that's fact.
That's why I know you've been
Yeah,
rocking
so I've kept this bit.
Amp's been holding himself back this whole time.
Yeah, I need maybe I'll do something. I'll try a goatee and maybe I'll put 20 pounds on my curls at the moment because it's still quite dire at the moment.
Amp, if you do the goatee, I guarantee that will heal.
Yeah.
If I have a goatee, I would get arrested outside of the school and I'll pick Leo. I wouldn't. It wouldn't be a good look, honestly.
Like,
I might as well buy an ice cream van.
I really want to see it now because I just feel like I just couldn't.
But next time I have a shave, what I'll do is next time I have a shave, I'll put it in and I'll send you a WhatsApp and you can give me a mark
just roll it up like inconspicuous and we know he's coming. we're not looking in that direction. He comes up this, and he's like, "Hey boys," and then we turn. And this is out of his goatee, and you just look at him like something out of fucking The Office, and you're like, "What is going on here?" And he's like, "Fucking goatee."
Oh no, I've done it before as a joke with my daughter, like Leah, because I always wind her up about getting a hair transplant. She doesn't want to get a hair, and sometimes I'll leave when I have a shave. I'll leave a moustache, and she's like, "Dad, please get rid of it." Or I'll leave like a goatee on and sit at the tin. She's like,
"You know what we need to do? We need." Sorry, I'm interrupting. It's just because I'm excited.
No, go on, big one.
We need to go to Texas and all just knock on Branch's door with goatees and just say, "Let's go out."
Do it.
Yeah.
Hey, my arm's feeling better, James, so I do need to finish the race over there at some point. Touch wood.
Ooh, absolutely, man. I'm actually out there for homecoming actually in April. So
yeah. I'm headed out there in May, supposedly. There's something on in May in Sweden.
You're doing
I'm not going to the States. Yeah, I said I'll go to the Sweden one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll see what's going on in May. Not that I know of, just because I think I got Pittsburgh. I'm doing Pittsburgh on it as well.
Oh.
So I think that's May. I think that's around the same time. I think that's when Sweden is. That's why I can't go to Sweden, actually, unfortunately.
Never mind. Because obviously that would be the last time I trained with you, wasn't it? When I popped the tricep.
Yeah.
Nearly a year, man. Shit.
Yeah.
I believe that was a year ago.
Yeah, it's just gone nowhere, hasn't it?
So you know what time does fly. Time does fly. You know, I remember doing the Arnold and it felt like it was not that long ago. And now it's the Arnold again. I'm like, oh shit, that came quick. So
3 and a bit weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Jimmy, finish strong, my man. I know you. I've got a feeling you're going to place a little bit higher than you think, motherfucker. From what I'm seeing.
Before I leave, all I'm going to say is this: I'm happy if I present something that's improved, because all I want from bodybuilding is to improve and prove that I am good, and that's it. Where it lands, we'll see. That's it, really, and I'm enjoying it.
That's all you can do, really, isn't it? There's literally all you can do is improve.
Don't get me wrong, like the rest is like when you're up there, actually try. Like you can give up as you pose, or you can pose like you want it, and that's it, really. But everything else, every day that we do, we again, like we say, we tick those boxes and we make sure that we get there as smoothly as possible. There's going to be some interference on the way, but a good bodybuilder deals with inconvenience because that's just part of it. Yeah. I would say this as well before we go. You know, last thing, it weren't even a prep if there weren't some sort of drama during it.
Oh, you can guarantee that something is going to go wrong. Like it's guaranteed. Generally during the last month as well.
Yeah,
it always happens.
I'll have AIDS. I'll have AIDS next week.
No, don't say that. That's Dan's gig. He's the one with no immune system. He's been ill again. You know.
Great way to lose weight.
I was again before we go. This is weird. I know we're going to go, but I was sitting in this coffee. I was sitting in a coffee shop today, and I was looking at this man opposite me, and this is so bad of me to think this. He was a very small fella, like not very developed. Like his body looked really slim. I was looking at his legs in jeans, and I was like, "Oh God, probably armbar that and it'd snap." Yeah, and I'm just a really random thought. It's that trend, and I just thought, and he pulled out a bottle of cough syrup, and he had his daughter with him and his wife, and they were getting coffee at the thing, and I couldn't help but feel sorry for him. I don't know. I just looked
why? Because he had skinny legs, or
yeah, because I just thought to myself. This sounds so arsehole-y, but I'm going to put it here anyway. I don't remember the last time I felt like I need cough syrup. Like,
in the cafe?
Yeah, in the cafe in town. and I just looked at him and I did say outside, like there was a monologue in my head. And I was just like...
Pussy.
so bad. It was so bad, and it was one of them. I just had a coffee. I'm on Glen. I'm obviously a little bit like feeling myself because I've just bought some games for PS3, and I'm looking opposite, and all I thought to myself, that's a little bit of a weak fella.
What did I say last week when we had
so
that conversation? When you start the trembling, you've got no empathy at all.
It's so bad. It was the cough.
I don't care if you're ill.
I analysed the jeans and the legs first, and I was like, yeah, they're pretty slim. And I've got nothing against. Listen, there's small people out there that will fucking destroy me and beat the shit out of me. Like, I know that. And I'm just saying what was going on in my mind. It's just the minute he whipped out the cough syrup and the way he did it was so like, I need
Pansy.
this.
I need this. I
need this. And he took it. And it was just like, that's not going to change anything, man.
Yeah.
You need to change. You need...
Man the fuck up. Did he have a little pack of Kleenex as well?
Dude, he pulled out.
Only old people are allowed to have tissues.
Dude, he pulled out a napkin and he even cleaned out that lid like really effectively. And I just thought, oh shit.
Oh, that's so.
And that's it. That's my arsehole Trent. If we do podcasts up to the show, if I come back on, I promise to the listeners I'll do just a trend rant at the end of each one if something happens. And that was you got to let me off for this one, guys, because I'm on Tremblone. Yeah.
It was turbulent. I just wondered where he was going, and then it was the cough syrup. That's what did it.
The cough syrup.
I feel sorry for you, and I was thinking, is it the skinny legs? Is he going back to the AIDS thing? No, it's the cough syrup.
Dude, it was the icing on the cake with the coffee. Syrup. the coffee syrup. It was the way it's like a Benadryl child's pink box. I was like,
I've got some Calpol in me. I've got some Calpol in my gym bag.
I just thought you're a grown man. Just like shrug it off, bro. It's a cough.
Fuck this guy.
Fuck this guy. You're offending me. He was literally in front of me, and I'm looking at him, and I'm just like, anyway.
Poor guy.
So that's
you know you went home. You know you went home and did all the washing up, all the ironing.
Dude,
that's
kind of like, but that's the problem. That was what was going through my head. It was so bad. I was thinking so much about it. It was really bad.
This poor guy just because he had a cold.
Literally, it was literally that. It's so bad of me. Awful. And then the last thing, he was eating the same cupcake as his daughter had. It was like it was one of the smallest fucking. It was the smallest fucking cinnamon.
I actually feel sorry for him. I didn't even see the guy.
Dude, I was thinking to myself, I was, and again, this is a real thought. I was thinking, you need to eat more than that with those legs. Because I was like, there's a reason that you don't fill those jeans out. Because you're eating the smallest cinnamon. Your daughter's 3 years old and she's eating the same size cinnamon swirl as you. Oh, it was tragic. I'm sorry. He's probably
should have just went to Greg's gym and just slamming him.
I should have gone over to the table. I should have fucking slapped that fucking thing out of his hand, and I should have passed him my Tupperware with my fish and potatoes in it and said, "Eat that, you slag."
He's some real food, and he wouldn't need fucking cough syrup.
You know what? He's probably a fucking absolute gentleman, and I'm an arsehole, and I'm going to hell. But
I mean that. Yeah, that's.
We've all got flaws.
This is what I like doing these because I said it down earlier, like when I see all the podcasts. This isn't a podcast. It's just chat.
It's just chat. Do you know what I should have done? Do you know what I should have done before? I should have fucking had one of these in a bag.
Oh yeah,
I should have thrown that over him and said, "Get yourself some fucking man clothes, you can't."
What did we decide for the thing? Did we do something?
Get yourself some man
clothes.
Yeah,
we said comment, didn't we? Yeah. We said
comment below. I want to hear. Do you know what I want to hear? I want to hear everybody's best friend below moment. I want to know.
We want some similar experiences about.
Yeah, let me know about your RC experiences, and then
James, can you hold it up and say you're doing a giveaway for the best Trembolone experience story?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. We are, thanks to these two gentlemen. I'm going to be giving away with these two gentlemen a Gasp and a Better Bodies voucher for 250, and all you have to do is tell us your best Trembolone story. Yeah. That's it.
Perfect. Oh God!
Right.
Hopefully, Michael doesn't mind me doing that, but you know,
Michael's cool. He's rocking Michael.
Yeah.
The guys at Gaspar are pretty cool at giving vouchers and stuff on there.
Yeah, like I say, they were meant for the year anniversary, but obviously, I was like, you know what, I pulled the plug on that, so let's.
That's the tremolo kicking as well. Yeah, fuck that shit.
No, man, that's it. Yeah.
Well, I got the cough syrup. I've got a perfect mental image of this man. It's perfect. You set the scene so well.
You know,
Yeah. Oh, not even fully. Yes.
oh, I just-
Sipping it.
just-
It was
Oh,
the
God.
it was the wiping out that did me.
I bet
Right.
his name was Jeremy as well.
Oh,
Nah, that's too. Think of a
It's brave.
pansy name.
Rupert.
Jeremy.
Rupert's pretty fun. If
Oh,
there's any
with
Rupert's
his
listening,
compliments.
sorry, Rupert.
Definitely a Rupert.
Oh.
Can't be any Ruperts.
If your
anyway.
name's Rupert, you're getting a gift card for free.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there's going to be a username pop up with Rupert at the bottom with a picture of his fucking compliments.
Fucking cough medicine, man. I don't even remember the last time I took that shit. I swear, fuck.
Yeah, I must be about 8 years old or something. Nobody takes cough meds anyway.
Dude.
That's fucking wild.
Dude. Fuck.
All right, James. Thank
Right,
you.
that's brilliant. Thank you. Thank you for making me remember today.
Spending your
Right.
That's brilliant. That's
Catch
the
you
best
soon,
bit.
guys.
Yeah,
Finish
guys.
strong, James.
Yeah,
Will do, man.
Later,
James.
guys.
We're all rooting for you. Big love.
Thank you.
Take it easy.